Hello everyone, welcome to the Film Recaps, and today I'm going to explain a horror romantic film called Inhuman Kiss. Be ready for some spoilers ahead. In a forest far from the cities, four children venture toward an abandoned house as night approaches. They start playing hide and seek, and a girl named Sci tells her friend Noi to join her inside the house to avoid being found by the seeker. They decide to split up into different rooms. Sci finds a mysterious box on the floor with the lid open. She cautiously approaches the box and looks inside but sees only spider webs and dust. The girl lowers her guard and thinks that she's safe, unaware of a bodiless head approaching her from behind and grabbing her with tentacles. Many years later, Sci grows into a beautiful young woman and meets her friend Jerd. He clearly has a crush on Sci, as he does everything to get her interest and attention. Jerd accompanies Sci to the local hospital where she works as a nurse. They find that all her colleagues, including the doctor, are missing due to the ongoing war. Their conversation is interrupted by a visiting family who brought their son for treatment after he sustained a minor knee injury. The mother tells them that neighbors have seen a demon with a flying head known as a krasu eating their livestock at night. She advises them to lock their windows and doors before sleeping. However, Sci is distracted by the boy's wounds and struggles to focus on the conversation. At night before going to sleep, Sci follows the woman's advice and locks the windows to protect herself from the krasu. She falls asleep and begins dreaming, seeing mysterious visions of the abandoned house and the box inside. She wakes up suddenly, feeling unrested from the vivid dream, and notices that her room is a mess and the window has somehow been opened. She begins feeling a strange pain on her chest and discovers a red scar underneath her clothing. What's even more terrifying is that her sheets are soaked with blood that's probably not her own. Sci becomes deeply worried about what is happening to her and asks Jerd to accompany her into the forest where she had seen a vision of an abandoned house in her dreams. They follow the path into the woods, but night is approaching quickly and the young man is anxious about their safety as they proceed. Suddenly, they hear footsteps in the distance and quickly hide, only to discover that it is their childhood friend Noi, who had moved away from their village a long time ago. They rush to greet him, but Jerd is dismayed to see Sci immediately embrace Noi. This causes Jerd to feel conflicted and uneasy as he senses that a romantic rivalry is beginning to form. Their reunion is cut short when a group of armed men led by a villainous man arrives. The group enters the village and displays cages filled with heads claiming to be krasu hunters from a neighboring town. Their leader Tad explains that krasus are very dangerous creatures that come out at night preying on the village's livestock and eventually attacking people as well. Additionally, these creatures can multiply rapidly because their saliva can infect other women, turning them into krasus. The villagers find it hard to believe this, especially the village leader who is also Sci's father. However, the hunters only request permission from the old man to stay until they have eradicated the threat. Seeing the heavily armed men and understanding the potential danger, the village leader agrees to their request for the safety of the villagers. The next morning, Sci wakes up in shock after more disturbing visions and vomits blood onto the floor. She notices that the window is open again, just like the night before, and there is even more blood on her bed. Sci looks at her shirt and sees that the red scars have increased dramatically, indicating that she is indeed a krasu. What's even worse, she discovers that Jerd has decided to join the hunting party, along with many other villagers. Noi tries to convince his friend to leave the group, arguing that the hunters are dangerous and violent, but Jerd refuses, insisting that this is the only way to protect Sci and the people he cares about. At night, the hunters begin patrolling the village, searching for the demon. Sci begins to feel the transformation coming on again. Her veins turn red as blood collects around her neck, and eventually, her head detaches from her body, transforming her into a terrifying monster. A neighbor wakes up in the middle of the night and sees that her baby is missing from the carriage and screams in anguish. Her husband quickly runs to the demon hunters for help, and the group returns to the village where they spot a glowing demon flying across the sky. Tad starts shooting at the flying head, trying to kill the krasu while ignoring the baby's safety. After firing several shots, the demon seems to have disappeared from the area, and they manage to find the missing baby on the ground. Meanwhile, Noi sees the krasu flying in the sky and begins to chase after it, eventually arriving at Sci's house. Concerned for Sci's safety, Noi climbs onto the building to the window, only to discover that the head belongs to Sci, who is reattaching herself. Sci regains consciousness, but realizes that her transformation was witnessed by Noi, causing him to fall from the ladder. She cries out in despair, fearing that Noi may never accept her after discovering her demonic secret. In the meantime, Noi seeks refuge and advice from the village monk who seems to know a great deal about the origins of the demons. The monk tells him that these creatures exist in both genders and the male demons are known as Krahang. Originally, these monsters were ordinary people who, after experimenting with black magic, transformed into terrifying creatures of the night. The monk realizes that the Krasu must be someone very significant to Noi and advises him to follow his heart when making decisions. At night, Sai begins to transform again while struggling on the floor. Heeding the monk's advice, Noi decides to help the girl by bringing her a large number of chickens so that she can satisfy her hunger without harming anyone. The next day, Sai goes to find Noi and tearfully embraces him, thanking him for helping her through this peril and for accepting her despite knowing what she is. Their bond grows stronger and they both start to fall in love. Noi continues to provide food for Sai at night, which keeps her safe from hunters, and no one has seen the Krasu for over a month. The monk also provides crucial information to Noi about a plant that can temporarily prevent a Krasu's transformation, although he has never seen it himself. One day, while looking after a girl in the hospital, Sai drinks a cup of tea and puts it on the table. Her work is interrupted when Jerd warns her to be very cautious, as a large-scale hunt for the Krasu is planned for that night. Just then, the girl is eyeing the cup of tea on the table, planning to drink it. The infection spreads rapidly, and the girl begins transforming in front of her parents on the same day. The hunters arrive immediately and see the headless body on the floor, while the demon hides under the table. After failing to remove the Krasu by hand, Tad orders his men to shoot the creature without hesitation. They fire numerous rounds at the table, killing the girl as a result. The family screams in agony as they watch their only daughter die in front of them, while the hunter rips out the creature's heart and laughs maniacally. Since Sai was the only nurse working in the hospital that day, the demon hunter starts suspecting her as the original Krasu, which causes great distress among her friends. Moreover, Sai feels immense guilt over the girl's death and fears that she might soon be killed as well. Noi tries to comfort her and says that they might still be able to resolve the situation, as he has found some plants near the abandoned house that might temporarily halt her transformation. They quickly go to the location inside the forest and seize the haunting structure, bringing back unpleasant memories of the past. The two decide to venture further into the backyard, where they discover numerous glowing plants on the ground. Sai hesitates, but eventually takes one of the fruits and eats it, which immediately alleviates her symptoms. Noi hurriedly gathers as many plants as he can, while Sai watches him and smiles. She realizes how much he cares for her, and they share a passionate kiss after finally finding a solution to her desperate situation. However, their brief moment of happiness is interrupted by the demon hunters who have followed them along with their friend Jerd. Seeing his crush kissing someone else, Jerd charges at Noi and starts punching him furiously, while Sai flees from her pursuers towards the abandoned house. She hurriedly enters the room and sees the large box again, but this time it's glowing red and seems to be pulling her in. Sai begins remembering what happened that night many years ago, when the Krasu approached her from behind and kissed her, transferring the woman's memories to her. She is possessed by the previous Krasu and starts killing her pursuers one by one. Tad sees this and begins firing at the demon, but Jerd tries to stop him, giving Sai a chance to escape. The hunter becomes enraged and throws him off the building. After some time, Sai manages to return to her body, and Noi seizes the opportunity to sneak back into the village with her. She immediately returns home and secures the medicine in a safe place, while the village leader is informed of a terrible event that occurred the previous night. It turns out that all the demon hunters were killed by the Krasu, with the only survivor being their leader, who also brought Jerd back to the village. The hunter describes the horrific encounter with the demon and accuses Sai of the mass murder. He successfully incites the villagers to pursue Sai, while the father tries desperately to stop them. Fortunately, Sai manages to remain human by consuming the herbs and presents herself as an ordinary girl. She seizes the chance to frame the hunter, claiming that he tried to assault her in the forest. However, Tad refutes her accusations and urges Jerd to reveal the truth about what really happened. Torn between truth and loyalty, Jerd decides to lie for the girl he loves and confirms her story. He then takes the village leader hostage, threatening the villagers to stay away. The hunter fires a gunshot to create a diversion and escapes. As the hunter flees, the village leader tells everyone to return home, while Sai looks at Jerd with guilt, feeling ashamed of the lies she told. Jerd returns home, emotionally and physically exhausted, but is suddenly confronted by the hunter, who approaches him and bites him with terrifying fangs. Meanwhile, Sai manages to halt her transformation by consuming the medicine, though the supply diminishes with each passing day. Noi attempts to resolve the issue by growing herbs, but his efforts are in vain as the plants wither before bearing any fruit. He then searches for the plants behind the abandoned house, only to find it reduced to ashes by the demon hunter determined to kill the Krasu. With no other option, Noi tells her that they must leave the village and plans their escape for the next day after sunset. Understanding she has to leave everyone behind, the girl visits her friend Gerd one last time. She enters his room, only to find him covering himself with a blanket and trembling in fear. Sai tries to comfort Gerd, but he reveals he knew she was a Krasu from the beginning, having seen her eat livestock on the first day. The only reason he joined the hunters was to give them false information and protect Sai from being hunted. Though it pains him to see her with Noi, he has been protecting her from behind the scenes. Gerd then discloses that he is undergoing a horrific transformation after being bitten by the demon hunter, who is actually a Krahang. He begs Sai not to leave him, now that he has become a terrifying monster whom no one else will accept. The next day, Noi visits the monk for the last time to learn more about the Krasu legend. The monk explains that the first Krasu was the wife of the first Krahang. She cheated on her husband, leading to her death when he ripped out the woman's heart. Since then, the Krahang is destined to hunt and kill every Krasu. Before sunset, Sai prepares to leave her home permanently, but her father stops her and takes her to the public theater to show everyone that his daughter is not a demon. Noi arrives at the meeting place, but sees that the girl is nowhere to be found, realizing that something is very wrong. Without any more medicines, Sai begins transforming in public as her head detaches from her body, causing everyone to scream in terror. Meanwhile, Gerd becomes extremely hopeless as he realizes that Sai would never keep her promise. He screams furiously and begins to transform, eventually turning into a vampire creature just like the hunter. Gerd flies towards the public theater with Tad, where the people are hunting the Krasu, and grabs the woman's head from the air. He looks at Sai with anger and tries to kill her, but Noi arrives just in time to stop him. After looking at the girl and regaining his humanity, Gerd charges towards Tad, and the two begin to fight furiously in the air. Gerd manages to knock the hunter downwards as they both fall towards the ground. They continue to exchange blows, but Tad quickly gains the advantage and pins Gerd to the floor. Tad strikes he in the chest and pulls out his heart-killing Gerd. The monster then turns its attention to the Krasu, while Noi carries Sai's body and tries to escape. Sai attacks the demon to protect Noi and lifts the creature into the sky. Suddenly, a gunshot is fired at the vampire's heart, killing the monster in mid-air. It turns out that the monk followed them to help and reveals that he is actually the husband of the previous Krasu, who was responsible for Sai's infection. He tries to make up for his actions, which have caused a lot of trouble, and tells Noi to run with the girl towards the water, where a boat is waiting for them. He grabs Sai's body and runs toward the river, while the villagers chase them, intent on finishing her off. Noi arrives at the boat and places the body inside. She sees that her body is full of damage after being attacked by the villagers, and sees no hope of surviving anymore. Sai kisses Noi for the last time, and they both cry, knowing they are destined to be separated forever. She cuts the boat's ropes, sending Noi away from the area. As they exchange tearful glances, a villager's gunshot strikes the girl in the head, killing her instantly. Noi, consumed with grief, runs to Sai as he watches his beloved being taken away from him forever. What do you guys think about this movie? Let me know in the comments below. And if you liked the video, please hit the like and subscribe to the channel for more content.